Hello everybody, welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And before we get into the show, if you do like what you see, then please do smash the like. It does help the channel up the search, so please do give it a like. That'll be fantastic. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come in to subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. 5 away now from 1200. Also hit the bell notification. That keeps you up to date with any live shows, pre-records or upcoming shows. If you want to become members, 99p, you can do that clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, do that in chat, clicking on the $sign, all money reinvested back into the channel. So yeah, there we go with that one. Right. Okay. So today we saw the news today, didn't we? That this man, there he is, Gareth Southgate, this morning resigned from his job as England manager. And rightly so. I think the time was right for him to go now. You know, I think we've had enough of Southgate ball. You know, it's not been all doom and gloom, but you know, he got the job after Allardyce, lasted only 67 days. And look, in his first tournament, he took us to the semi-finals of the World Cup in Russia. Possibly we should have got the final in that tournament. Then in Euro 2020, which was in 2021, he got to the final when we played Italy and we lost on penalties. Again, we should have won. We were 1-0 up. Italy weren't that great of a team. We could have beat them, and we just sat back and invited the pressure, which meant they equalised and then went to penalties and we lost it. Then you fast forward to Qatar World Cup. Again, we started off that World Cup well with a 6-1 win over Iran. Got the quarterfinals against France. And again, you know, we scored one penalty, couldn't score another one, and we lost that game 2-1 to France. Now, you know, if we'd won that game, we possibly would have got the final against Argentina. Not saying we would have beat Argentina in the final because they were actually on fire after that. But, you know, we should have beat France in that quarter final. Then we've just had Euro 2024, where I think we scammed our way at the final because we have not been great in this tournament. We turned up, you know, the group stages, we scraped that. And how we finished top of that group is amazing, to be fair, considering we scraped it with 1 win and 2 draws. So anyway, we got the nice side of the draw, but we had to come from behind against Slovakia and have a Jude Bellingham wonder goal to get us back into the game. So we win that on extra time, 2-1. We then go to the Switzerland game, the quarterfinals. We go 1-0 behind. We come back to 1-1 and we win that on penalties. We then get the semi-final, where I think for the first half, we were absolutely dominant. We were a better team. We looked a hell of a lot better. Players actually turned up in this tournament then. And you thought, oh, okay, we've turned up now. It's the semi-final, we've turned up. Yes, we beat Holland, a last-minute goal, but we still beat them. That's the main thing. And then, so then you're sort of thinking from there, right? Okay, we've beat them, and we get to the final, and as I say, we get to the final of this. 1-0 down against Spain, we come back to 1-1. But my thoughts were on Sunday was, and more so, not just after the game, but during the game, when we come back to 1-1, when Palmer scored that equaliser, that wonderful equaliser, my first thought was, right, okay, we've now got this equaliser, let's go for it, let's go for the jugular. Now, why didn't he throw Gordon on? Why didn't he throw Jared Bowen on? You know, just get these attacking players on and give it a go. Because when it's 1-1, you've got a chance in them last 15 minutes to win that game. But throw your attackers on and just say, right, go for it. You know, go cavalier, go gung-ho, and just go out for it. And if we did get beat, then at least we can see, well, we've got beaten by being attacking. But we didn't. What did we do? We sat back. And what happened when we sat back? Spain scored 3 minutes from the end from their substitute. And, again, another tournament where we've gone out on a wimp. And to be honest with you, it really isn't a great look, is it, when this is happening all the time? So, I just don't get it. I just really, really don't get it with Southgate. And this was probably the news we needed, that he was leaving. Now, hopefully, the next manager who comes in will be better than Southgate, might actually take us to that extra step and win us that bit of silverware. The next tournament's the World Cup in 2 years' time. Obviously, we can't fight for the Nations League because we're being relegated to Group B because we finished bottom of that group in Group A. So we have to get back to Group A. So we have to win Group B to get back there. And I think we can do it. And we just need the right manager. Now we're going to look at the names that are thrown in there that are linked. Now, obviously, the first man on this list, there he is, and that's Eddie Howe. Now, look, we know Eddie Howe's high up on the FA's list. We've heard Darren Neal's come out today say that he signed an extended contract last year, and that he doesn't expect Eddie Howe to leave. Now then, but there is a rumour going around, and Alex Crook has brought it out from TalkSport as well, that Eddie Howe might be tempted for the England job. Now then, if England do ask to speak to Eddie Howe and he goes speak to them, or he might just say to the owners, look, I've dreamt for this job. This is a dream job. It's the ultimate job. Please let me go and talk, or can I go for it? Now, as much as it would be a blow to lose Eddie Howe because of the work he's done at Newcastle United, but then you can't blame the guy. You've got to, he's an ambitious guy, and he might want, and if this is an opportunity that comes along now, he might say, I want this opportunity and I want to take this opportunity. Because if he did go to the England job, he'd be fantastic for England, because we know what type of football he plays. He plays high intensity football, high pressing football. And that would stump a lot of teams, in competitions. So, this would be a fantastic appointment. A big loss for us at Newcastle United, but it would be a fantastic appointment for England. But as I say, is this one going to happen? We don't know. At the end of the day, it is just rumours. But again, we have to wait and see. But Eddie Howe, he's one name that's being mentioned at the moment as well. But there are other names being mentioned as well. So let's look at another ones. You've got Thomas Tuchel. Now, Thomas Tuchel has been at Chelsea. He's been at Bayern Munich. Yes, at Bayern Munich, things didn't really go to plan at the end of it, and he's ended up going. But Tuchel is quite a good manager, and a good manager when it comes to knockout tournaments as well. And his record speaks for itself. So I wouldn't be disappointed with Thomas Tuchel coming in. I think that would be a step in the right direction as well. So Thomas Tuchel, yes, not a bad appointment, if you ask me, for that one. Other managers in the frame. You've got Graham Potter. Now, for me, Graham Potter, I wouldn't like this appointment. Yes, he was good for Brighton and Swansea, but at Chelsea, he flopped. Okay, fair enough, you can say the owner was playing a bit of FIFA and brought loads of players in. But this guy flopped big style at Chelsea. And not only that, it was he spoke about Newcastle United before the game when we beat them at St James's Park 1-0 just before the World Cup in Qatar. And his comments afterwards as well. I can't stand this guy. I really do not like this guy, and I do not want to see this guy in the England team. If this guy is England manager, I will not be watching England, not at all, because I just can't stand him. He just thinks he's got an ego, but he ain't that good. And I think he'd be found out at international level. So to me, Potter would be a bad move for England. So I would say scratch him off the list. Next one is Maurizio Pochettino. Now, Pochettino, we know what he did with Chelsea. He got them to a European place and unfortunately lost his job, which is a bit strange considering, he got them to a Carabao Cup final. Got them, so close in the FA Cup to the semi-finals. And as I say, guide them to 6th place in the Premier League. So, look, Pochettino, yes, he's not a bad manager. And again, another manager who could do well for England. He's got a very good record. So yeah, Pochettino is another one who could do a job. Finally, another candidate we'll speak about now is this man. There he is. Jurgen Klopp, or as some people call him, Turkey Teeth. But anyway, Jurgen Klopp. Look, this man has an immense record. This man has won trophies. A lot of trophies. He's won a Champions League for Liverpool. He's won a Premier League for Liverpool. He's quite a trophy-laden manager, is Jurgen Klopp. And look, we know what his style's like. His attacking style. Again, another guy who plays great football. Now, we know he's on a break. Now, would he want to come back to managing straight away? I'm not so sure. That's the only problem I have with Klopp. I'm not sure if he wants to come straight back into management. He might still say, look, yes, I would have liked the England job, but it's come at the wrong time. If it had been a year down the line, then I may be thinking about it. Would the England job tempt him? I'm not sure. But I think he'd be great for England, if I'm honest. So again, Jurgen Klopp, yes, not a bad shout. And I would pretty much be happy to go with that one. But whether he would do it or not, I'm not so sure. That is the only problem. So we don't know on that one. I mean, look, what's your thoughts on this? The England job. Who do you think's going to get it? I mean, Eddie Howe's out there now is the favourite for it. We know he has said in the past when he was at Bournemouth that the England job's the ultimate job, and he wouldn't say no to it. And yes, we heard last year when he said he wasn't interested in the England job because he loves a day-to-day base training, and that Gareth Southgate was still the manager of England at the time. But things can change, Eddie Howe might have just been saying all that because at the end of the day, one, Gareth Southgate was still England manager last year, and two, yes, it's disrespectful from journalists to ask questions like that, It's like saying to, like who? Let's say, for instance, you've got Eric Ten Hag, who's been under pressure at Man United, and asking Southgate, would you like to be manager of Man United? He's naturally going to say, well, no, because Eric Ten Hag's manager, or it's like asking Jose Mourinho, would you like to be manager of Newcastle? He would say, well, no, because Eddie Howe's the manager. So these journalists do ask some stupid questions at stupid times, and that's why Eddie Howe probably distanced himself. But Eddie Howe's probably looking at the fact is, what Eddie Howe's probably looking at is, he's looking at the squad England have got, the players that England have got, and he'll even improve these players. He'll even push an extra 10% into these players. So maybe Eddie Howe's having second thoughts now and thinking, do you know what? If England come calling, I can't knock it back. But again, we have to wait and see what happens. We just have to wait and see. You know, England will be drawing their shortlist up. They'll be making their contacts, you know. So, look, it's not saying that Eddie Howe's going to get the England job. But if his name's in there. But one thing I will say is, while Eddie Howe's been linked with a job for England, we should actually be proud of that as Newcastle fans. Because it's actually nice to see that our club is recognised. We know people have wanted Isak, Gordon, Bruno, you know, and being linked with players. And now being linked with our manager as well. That shows you how well our club, that shows you how great our club is again. And our club's going to get better, you know. We are going to see phase 3 of this, you know, the next phase of this club, of what they're doing. Is it phase 3 or phase 2, whatever it is. But look, you know, it's going to be exciting. Darren Neils has come out and said, you know, the PSR, we sorted that out. We had to make a couple of sales. But he said nobody else is going. Yes, okay, Darren Neils has said Eddie's going nowhere. But as I say, at the end of the day, if Eddie turns around and says, I want to speak to the FA, you can't stand in his way. Because if you do see, well, you can't speak to them, then you could cause an atmosphere in the club. And the last thing you want to do is cause an atmosphere. So sometimes it's best just say, yeah, go and have a speak to them. You know, it doesn't mean to say because he goes and talks to them, he goes, yeah, I'll have the job. You might say, oh, no, actually, what you've told me, no, I don't want it now, you know? So it doesn't mean to say because he goes for talks that he's taking the job on. There might be conditions there that he doesn't like, and he might say, no, I don't want it. But anyway, let me know in the comments, who do you think will get the job? How, you know, what would be your thoughts if Eddie Howe got the job? You know, could Eddie Howe take England to that next step and win them a trophy? I believe he could, because of the style of football Eddie Howe plays. It would be an exciting brand of football. That's what most England fans want. They want Eddie Howe there. And that's not just Newcastle fans, that's non-Newcastle fans that want Eddie Howe there. So people who don't support Newcastle but want Eddie Howe. That's how highly he is thought of. Because they saw what he'd done at Bournemouth. But because he's come to Newcastle, and not only did he keep us in the Premier League that season when he kept us up comfortably, but he got us to the Champions League. Got us to a Carabao Cup final. Got us finished in 7th place last season when we had a horrendous injury list. You know? So that's why he's highly thought of. But do let me know what you think in the comments. Do get your comments in there. If Eddie Howe was to go, I hope the FA do this very quickly. And the reason I say that is so we can get a new manager in quickly as well. Because, look, the season will be starting in August next month. And, you know, something like this, you don't want this dragging on and on. You want this to be wrapped up quickly. So if they were to come in for Eddie Howe and he decided, yes, he was going, ideally, it would be great to have it wrapped up, say, this week or by the end of next week. Then at least the club can then go out and search for a new manager, and we've got time to get a manager in. But again, you know, for one, I do not want Eddie Howe going anywhere. But if he does go, you know, I wish the guy luck, and, you know, and hope he does really well. But again, you know, all us fans want him to stay and succeed at Newcastle. But again, it's all up to Eddie Howe at the end of the day. Everybody can have that speculation out there, but there's only one man who knows what he wants to do, and that's Eddie Howe himself. So again, we'll just wait and see on that one. Right, okay, so thank you for joining me on this short video. But don't forget, if you have liked what you see, please do smash the thumbs up. It does help the channel, so please do give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe and be part of this great community. Also hit the bell notification. That tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So yeah, so what a day it's been. But, you know, England have now got rid of Southgate because the man's decided to resign. Which, actually, to be fair, I will give him credit for that as well, for resigning, because it means, one, the FA won't be sacking him, so they won't have to pay him any compensation. Two, he doesn't extend his contract for a further 2 years to the next World Cup, because everybody was fearing that. And look, as I just say, thank you for what you've done, Southgate, because you have helped England out. You've took with, after that Euro 2016 under Roy Hodgson getting beat off Iceland, which was such a low point in England's history, and in tournaments and that. You have brought the feel-good factor back. Unfortunately, you just couldn't get us to that trophy. But hopefully you've laid the foundations for somebody else to finally get us to a final and win a trophy. So we thank you for that, Southgate. But, and we are pleased that you have now walked away, because this tournament, was absolutely dreadful, let's be honest. And we were beaten off the better team, and probably the team of the tournament, because they didn't lose a game, they won every single game. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I will see you all later. But remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. We are Newcastle United. We always go marching on. Until then, away the lads.